Hey there YouTube, Alex here, back to do another vinyl update video today. I think this is the ninth one now, so it's good. I'm moving things along quite swiftly with these updates. Yeah, just wanted to get this up as soon as possible because over the next week or so I'm kind of moving into the final stretch of my exams. I've got one on Thursday, this Thursday coming up, and then I got one the following Monday, and then the following Friday, and then that's them all finished. 24th of June is the final exam. So forgive me if I don't post any videos kind of in the next week or so. I'm just going to try and get my head down and kind of try and nail these exams. I might have some more videos up, but I can't guarantee anything. But yeah, I wanted to get one up today and just show you some of the records I picked up. I think I've only got 4 records to show you here, so it's going to be quite a small update. But yeah, a couple of the releases that I got, I'm pretty excited about and eager to share with you guys. So yeah, just thought I'd put a video up. So yeah, I'm playing this album in the background. This, of course, is Bright Eyes, The People's Key, their 2011 release. And I showed this a while back now, and I think I explained then that it's not, I didn't care for it too much on the first listen. I mean, I liked it, but it wasn't, I didn't find it to be anything special. So this is the second time I played it through, and I have to say it's growing on me, definitely, just like the Kurt Weill is. The Kurt Weill record, which I was playing in my last video, this is definitely a grower. So yeah, that's playing in the background, and I'll get on and show you these records. Right then guys, so yeah, I'm going to start off by showing you a couple of newer releases that I bought in the last week. And this first one here I've pretty much wanted since it came out about a month ago, I think, and yeah, just been eager to buy this, just hadn't had the money, and finally amassed the total I needed, and went in and bought this record here, the Fleet Foxes' Helplessness Blues, their most recent album, and went in and bought this with very, very high expectations. I mean, I'd heard a lot of great things from you guys in the vinyl community and other people, that this was a great album. And I have to say, I wasn't disappointed one single bit. This is an impeccable album, just an acoustic masterpiece in my opinion. An album I would strongly urge you head down to your record store and buy as soon as possible, because it's an album I think everyone needs to hear. And for me, I think this has to be in my opinion, this has to be the best album of the year so far. Or certainly up there anyway. But yeah, this is on the pricey side. I think I paid £21 for this, but obviously it's a double LP, as you can see, with the lyrics there on the inside, and really nice pressing by Sub Pop. They've done a great job with it, and as I said, you can't go wrong buying this record. The band seem to be able to conjure up so many different moods and so many different atmospheres on this album. It's almost kind of beyond belief. It's really just mind-boggling. Combine that with some really organic lyrics and a really great vocal performance, and you have an album that is almost faultless, I would say. So yeah, hugely recommended. And I think I subscribe to a guy called Anthony Fantano, The Needle Drop. He has a channel called The Needle Drop, and he reviewed this album a couple of weeks ago, and I think his analogy was spot on. He said basically that you have to hear this album on vinyl to get the most out of it, because it's an album that has so much going on in the background, so many subtle nuances, and so many different instruments to take in. A low bitrate download is just not going to do this album justice. I think you really have to experience it on vinyl. So I'm so glad I picked this up, and as I said, yet again, I would strongly urge you go and buy this. Okay then, so moving on to the second album. This is again another new release. This time, this is Radiohead's The King of Limbs, their most recent album, released again I think about a month back. And the story behind this one actually is that I ordered it back in early April, so a good while ago now, and expected it to come into the shop maybe 2 or 3 weeks after that, because that's kind of the standard time it takes. But this actually took almost 2 months to get delivered to the shop, and I really didn't have any idea why. I asked the guy that works in there, and he said that he believes that the band has kind of restricted the distribution of this album in the UK. They only kind of press one batch to start with in the first month, and it took a while to distribute another batch. So I was kind of surprised by that, considering how big and how popular Radiohead are. I mean, they're really at the forefront of British music right now. I mean, they're one of the biggest bands in the UK, and just an absolutely huge band. And just surprised me that they were limiting the distribution of this album. I don't really know if that's true. That could be a lie, or it could just be naivety on his part. But who knows? But yeah, this is great to finally have in my collection. I know a lot of people have been critical about this. Mr. Hall of Fame, I watched his video the other day, and he wasn't a big fan of this album, and I can see why. I mean, you look at Radiohead's discography and you say, how high have they set the bar over the years, with classic albums, bordering on legendary albums like OK Computer, The Bends, In Rainbows, and they've just set the bar so high, and it's difficult to live up to all that hype. And obviously this album is quite short. I think it's only 36 minutes, so quite short for their standards. And I can see why people might be a little bit critical. They haven't really done anything out of the ordinary here. Kind of just done what everyone really expected them to do, I guess. Maybe this album considered a little bit predictable, but nonetheless, I enjoyed it. I think it's a solid listen, a solid album, and enjoyed it from start to finish, really. I think the first side's slightly better than the second side. Morning Mr. Magpie, Little by Little, Feral, all great songs. And I like the direction Radiohead seem to be going with this. I think they could take it a lot further, and really eager to see what they do in the future. But yeah, this album actually has some local significance as well. The band actually named this album after a famous, relatively famous tree about a mile from my home in Savanac Forest, and it's over 1,000 years old. So pretty old tree. I think that the forest in all has, I think, 6 trees that are over 1,000 years old, and the band were obviously inspired to name this album after that tree. And it was cool, actually. A bunch of my friends went up on the day this album was released and listened to the album next to the tree. So I thought that was quite a cool idea. But I wanted to wait until it came out on vinyl and experience it that way. But yeah, great to finally have this in my collection. Right then, guys, so yeah, moving on to these last 2 records, which are both second-hand. Got them both from my local charity shop, which I seem to be shopping in more and more frequently recently, because I guess it's due to my lack of money, I guess. But yeah, my local record store, the independent record store we have in town, doesn't actually doesn't stock any second-hand vinyl. So if I go in there, to get anything decent, you have to spend £10 or £15. So yeah, it's a great store, this charity shop, because there's always seems to be something that stands out and jumps out at me, and this time it was this record, Elvis Costello's This Year's Model. I think this is his second studio album from 1978, and this is actually my first Elvis Costello record. I hadn't heard any of his stuff prior to buying this, so I guess you could call it a little bit of a venture into the unknown, but with a price tag of just £3.99. I wasn't really paying, I wasn't really taking any risks in buying this whatsoever. So and also, to be honest, I'm still in this process of experiencing and discovering new genres, new music, and new artists all the time. So this was this was a great one to find. And you know, to be honest, I was expecting something a lot heavier than this because, you know, quite naively, I associated Costello with punk, and obviously when I think of punk, I think very narrow-mindedly of bands like The Clash and the Sex Pistols, and obviously that was very wrong of me because this album is nothing like that. It's surprisingly catchy, and yeah, just really enjoyed it. And it'd be great actually if any of you guys know any more kind of classic Costello albums that you would recommend, then just leave them down in the comment box, because I can see myself really getting more into Elvis Costello over the next few months, because I really genuinely enjoyed this album. So yeah, just let me know if you have any favourites of his. So yeah, straight from one Elvis to another. This last one is Elvis Christmas album. Just bought this on a whim, really. I think this was £1 or something ridiculous like that. I figured, you know, because I don't have any Elvis in my collection, and I don't have any Christmas albums in my collection either, so I thought it kind of fitted the bill to buy this album. And yeah, it's good stuff. I've played it through once. Obviously a bit inappropriate for this time of year, but once Christmas comes around, this will be great to put on the turntable and relax to. And I've always been an Elvis fan, kind of under wraps. I've been into his hits. Now, I've kind of had his hits on my iPod for a long time, but haven't had any of his, you know, studio albums. So it'd be again great to buy more of those over the next year or so. But yeah, those are the four albums that I wanted to show you today, guys. Not too many, I know, but it comes down to these exams, and got to put my 100% focus into them, and then, you know, only 10 days left now, and then after that I can focus in again on my collection and expanding it over the summer, which I'm really looking forward to, and yeah, just can't wait for them to be over, really. But yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to say in this video. I want to thank everyone who's subscribed to me recently. It's been great seeing my subscriber count go up and up. I think I'm on 161 subscribers now, which is a great total to be on. And you know, when I started this channel, I never really imagined I would get to that number. So thanks to everyone who subscribed to me and who watches my videos, and comments and likes. It really does mean a lot to me. But apart from that, thanks for watching, guys, and keep up the great videos.